When you go into it and you get that call, you say yes, not knowing if it's going to be overnight or if it's going to be, more than a year.
The Mangan family sacrifices themselves to give to the less fortunate time and time again. They serve as a foster family, but to them it's much more.
The foster kids as somewhat worked as a bond between me and my brothers, and we just love the kids, and we like to, I feel like the kids work as a seal between our relationship as brothers.
When we first started it, we didn't really know what we were getting into, and I think our hope was that it would teach our children to serve and to love others that maybe aren't as fortunate as themselves.
I continually realize that everything that I have, I need to give back to those who have less.
They definitely make me realize what I have, I sometimes take advantage of, and I realize that a lot of kids don't have the things that I do when they come into our house and they're like, wow, you have all this stuff, this is amazing. Things that are of everyday use for me that I never really think about until someone brings it up as if they had never even been associated with them.
One time we had these 3 kids that came in. I was making my lunch one night and I was putting my chips in my bag, and one of the kids said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And so I said, "I'm just making my lunch for tomorrow and I'm gonna take it to school." He said, "Can I do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." To me, I never really think twice about that because I do that every single day. I make the same lunch every day, but there are kids that I don't necessarily realize that don't have that luxury, and so they got them their lunch sacks. They stuff so many things. I mean, they would grab random bags of chips that I didn't even know were in our pantry, and they would fill them up, and then they would stick soda cans in there, and some things we even had to pull out because you can't take that to school, but they filled their bags up and then they took them, and then they were just so happy that they got to do something that they've never been able to do before. It definitely brings a smile to your face, and you get to realize what you're actually doing is providing for them in ways that you never really know, even in the small things such as taking a lunch.
One night we got a call, and it really was probably 2 in the morning, and it was 3 little boys that had been abandoned in an apartment. They came and pulled up into our carport, and these 3 little boys get out. We meet them in the carport, and we just say, is it okay if you all stay at our house for tonight, trying to make them comfortable? And they looked over and saw that we had a trampoline, and the older boy said, "We want to stay here for the rest of our life."
The little things we take for granted every day may seem normal to us, but there will always be a kid out there with less, and the smallest fortune of hope can change everything for them. They just need someone.
There's just such a great need. It's huge. In fact, the state of Arkansas itself is in crisis right now. There's double the amount of kids in foster care than there are actually beds for them, and so they're splitting up sibling groups. They're doing all these things, and just get involved. Like David said, let's help those around you. But I think just to help people understand there's a need, there's such a need. And it's easy to turn your head, but just think if it was your child or your niece or your nephew. The other thing that I would say is, I think the one thing we hear the most about foster carers are like, "Oh, I could never do that. I would never be able to let them go." I say to them, that's exactly who these children need.
If you're debating on the fence, absolutely do it. You can start small, or you can just go right into, you don't have to go through the state. You can go through a by choice adoption agency. So there are different ways to go into it, but I would 100% recommend do it.
It's been just a blessing to take in these kids and to invest as much as we have over the years. Giving what we've been given is the best thing to do, and it's definitely a great experience. I feel like life isn't about staying comfortable. It's about making yourself uncomfortable to make others feel comfortable.
Do it. There will always be reasons not to do it. There will always be, this is not a good time. There will always be a reason not to do it. But when you look at that child, there's a greater reason to do it.
There was one memory where I had been just I got home and I started playing the piano, kind of like a normal day. I'd come home and I'd just start working on something. And I just remember one of our foster kids coming up and just sitting next to me on the bench, and watching her face fill up with joy and just fulfillment when I was playing. It was just something so it was treasuring to me to see how much joy that you can give to someone and that you take for granted.
Many of us have been blessed with more than we know what to do with, but there are still those who are less fortunate. The Mangan serve as a foster family, but there are many opportunities to give what we've been given.